This is ABBA's house. I'm very perplexed tonight and very upset and worried about our country. Now, today we're going to look at Canada and the United States and the significant differences in them and in our leaders and what we have to do to get back to fighting on God's side. Abba, Father, Elohim, please, I beseech thee, bring these words forth to my fellow brothers and sisters. May they hear these words, open their hearts, ears, and mind. And may you prick their hearts and unharden them and open their spirits to the truth, light, and justice that you provide through the word and through following your guidance and your teachings. And we say these things in Yeshua's name, Yahweh, and Jesus Christ, the Messiah's name. Amen. Why is this concerning me? I will share that in a few minutes. Differences between Canada and United States. I'm going to do United States first because I am very worried about my American friends that are in the States. And I'm very afraid that because of what's going on, I'm going to lose my Canadian citizenship. Now, America used to stand for this, a country of the center of Northwest America with coastlines in the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. It includes the notorious states of Alaska and Hawaii and various islands and territories in the Caribbean Sea and Pacific Sea. What's on the American bill is "In God We Trust." Well, I'm sorry to say, but that is not the way America is today. And when that was brought out hundreds of years ago, I'm here to inform you and wake my Christian brothers and sisters up to what is going on in the United States. What is a dictator? That's who you have in power. And you'll notice this by what the definition is. A person guaranteed absolute emergency power, especially history. One appointed by the Senate. He fired most of the Senate and most of his cabinet people. one holding complete automatic control, a person with unlimited governmental power. For years, he's had collusion with Russia. Now, it's with North and South Korea. This is not a good sign. One rule is an absolute and often observation way. Fascist dictators. 2. One who says or reads something for a person to translate, for a machine to record. One that dictates. So, let us look at this definition. Trump is exactly what a dictator is. He has fired his cabinet. He has fired everybody that opposes him and stands with those that do not oppose him. He is working with the Senate to destroy everything that is precious about the United States. He's in collusion with Russia. Now he's in collusion with North America, or sorry, not North America, North Korea and South Korea. And he's given the glorification and edification of being the one that made that happen. He didn't make nothing happen. He spent most of his days on a freaking golf course, for crying out loud. Are you really that blind that you can't see what's happening? This man is setting up a dictatorship. What is a dictatorship? Is an Aristotle form of government categorized by a single leader or group of leaders with either no party or a weak party. Little masses, monopolization, and limited political plagiarism. So he has no opposition because he's fired most everybody who has not agreed with his tactics. You know? And I'm sorry, but, you know, it is defined and ruled by an individual. A dictator. A comparatory using dictatorship. Refuses to any aristocratic form of absolution rule by leadership, unrestricted by law, conditionings in order to socialize and political factors within the state. So, our free trade agreement is up in the air. He's building a border on New Mexico. Well, as we see from the news media, that's not going to stop him from coming over because he'll just climb it. You know, then his bright idea about gun control is to arm the teachers. This is ludicrous and ridiculous thinking. This man is supposed to have an education. He's acting like a kindergarten person that I have bigger than you. He reminds me of the African nations of Uganda, Zimbabwe, Asia, North Korea, Middle Eastern, Syria, Iran, and South America. He wants to run this country as his own personal dictatorship. Examples of dictatorship or dictatorship: you know, there's one thing you have to understand. The dictator has total power and rules everything. So these ministers and pastors and bishops that are following a man because he holds up a Bible and says he's Christian, well, I'm a Christian and I find that very offensive. Because if I ever talk to my wife the way he talks about his women that he's dealt with over the years, if I ever had an affair on my wife, I'd be gone on the street the very next minute. I wouldn't even get "I'm sorry" out of my mouth. I'd be on the street. Yet these women put up with them because they are manipulated and bamboozled, connived, fooled, tricked. There was a man in this world who did that. The world's worst dictators. Omar ABBA Saddam. He's dead. He's responsible for killing hundreds and thousands of people. Kim Jong-un. Tai Shou from Burma. He's friends with him. Robert Mugabe. He's friends with him. Islam Kalimov from Yakutinia. He's blocked the city. Hut Jintatoa from China. Friends with him. King Abdul from Saudi Arabia. He's blocked this country. Samet Yasovat from Pakistan. He's blocked this country. Are you seeing what he's doing? He's cutting out the armies that can take him. And he's friends with the armies that will side with him, like Russia, North Korea, China, Japan, and all these high-powered areas. Have you figured out his plan yet? Well, you see, he's very mad at Canada, for what we did in allowing those people sanctuary from being kicked back to their war-torn countries. Our Prime Minister, our great Prime Minister, opened up our borders and allowed those people to come in. 2,500 flooded our borders. He closed the borders and then realized it was a mistake and opened them again to help these people from war-torn countries. The definition of Canada. Nation in North America, bordered by the Atlantic to the east coast and Arctic Ocean, and the north, the Pacific, and Alaska on the west, and the United States to the south. In the area of Canada is the second largest nation in the world. The first one is Russia. The name of Canada has been in since the founding of the French colony in Canada in the 16th century. The name originates from St. Lawrence. Awakana word, or katana, or Canada, from settlement village or land, is pronounced Canada. In English, Canada. The C sounds like a K. In standard Quebec French, Inuit, of the official languages of the territory of Nunavut, and the First Nation words produce cantatata, is used with Inuit symbolist. The French colony of Canada, which formed one of several colonies with New France, was set up along the St. Lawrence River and the northern shore of the Great Lakes. Later, the area became the British colonies. And because the Britons came in, and again, they came in from the States, and there was the expulsion of the Canadians. And the raping and pillaging of the Aboriginal people, and the expulsion of the Acadians from New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. Most of them settled in Quebec and became what is known today as the Quebec province. Later, the area called Upper Canada and Lower Canada until their union as the British province of Canada in 1844. Upon Confederation in 1867, the name Canada was officially adopted to the new Dominion, which was commonly referred to as the Dominion of Canada until after World War II. You see, we have a long history too, and I'm afraid to lose that. You see, I love Prime Minister Trudeau. I think he's doing a miraculous job for this country. You know, he was able to, after years and decades of no free trade with North in China, and became friends with the European and England prime ministers and the monarchy, and is the only prime minister to ever appear in gay pride parades. You see, we are proud of our heritage in Canada, and we here in Canada, as Canadians, stand up and fight against the tyranny that is happening in America. Why am I bringing this up? Go back 5 or 6 months. before all this started in the States with Trump. And Trump decided that Muslims were not accepted in the country anymore because of their heritage, and classified them all as terrorists. Many of them fled to Canada for asylum, and not being able to go back to their war-torn countries. And our gracious Prime Minister opened the borders and allowed those people to enter into a safe environment with free health care and free Medicare. We don't believe in pushing somebody out because they have no insurance in a hospital. Everybody's welcome, whether they have insurance or not, whether they're visiting this country. You see, if you're visiting from another country here in Canada, and you go to our emergency rooms, or God forbid, you are in an accident and have a serious issue and have to be rushed to the emergency room, your insurance card is welcomed here in Canada for up to 6 months. So if you're from a country where you have health care, we recognize that insurance here in Canada. The States doesn't do this. You know? If you go to a hospital and you haven't got insurance to cover your health care stay, you are sent to a government-funded hospital, which are really not run very well. You know, we don't do that here in Canada. You see, we don't segregate our people. We don't set out our people. But yet, your president is forcing us to be in the middle of this fight. You see, people on the internet show how great and wonderful they are by running down Muslims, burning mosques, and killing innocent Muslim and Islamic faith people. Because of that, fascist, radical, and left and right wing radicals in this country, yes, we have them here too, took up the torch and did the same thing here in Canada. 3 mosques in a week burnt. Many churches vandalized because they believe in gay weddings. And now the Prime Minister has said enough. You know? And when people run down the road with cars and kill people, one of our biggest cities here is Toronto. And just less than a week ago, 32 people died because of a person in the States and a stupid thing that was started in the States about I am vindicated because I killed people because girls don't love me. Ridiculous. I love my states, brothers and sisters. I would do anything for you. But I will not stand for your fascist dictatorship to come in to this country and allow it to be destroyed. I will not stand idly by and allow America to destroy Canada. You see, I have been in Canada for 53 years. I'm very proud of being a Canadian citizen. I stand firm on our foundation that we are a peaceful nation. But I assure you, I promise you, this will not stand in this country. You see, because in this country, we believe in God as our sovereign leader, not a radical fascist dictator, racist, bigot, egotistical, maniacal, power-hungry, rich person allowed to run our country. You see, we don't put famous people in our positions here in Canada. Why? Because power-hungry dictators with power tend to go nuts. And that is exactly what is happening in the States. I intend to stand firm on our laurels and on our laws. I, for one, as a Canadian citizen, will not allow this to happen. I will go to Ottawa. I will make waves. You see, brothers and sisters, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and I will be louder, more obnoxious, more pushy, more bold than anybody upon the face of this earth. The States has been trying for years to come in to Canada and take it over because people like Donald Trump are power hungry and want this country to be that country. I, for one, will not stand for this. I will not stand idly by while my country is destroyed by a fascist dictator. I won't. I will not. No person, bigot, racist, pig-face, nasty, obnoxious, egotistical, maniacal, fruitcake, donkey is going to come into my country and take control without me pulling some strings and causing some ruckus. Nothing. You see, you're messing with the wrong person when you're messing with Pastor Kent, because Kent only fears one thing: your idle threats. Don't bother me. Okay, I've had guns put to my head. I have had knives put to my stomach and to my throat. And I do not back down. I will never back down. Nothing will stop me from fighting this fight. So if you want to continue this fight and continue coming into this country, I will make it as hard as I can for you to enter this country. Nothing, but nothing, is going to stop me from taking on this task. Nothing. Deuteronomy 3. You see, we as Canadian Christian men, women, children, all of us have to stand up and not allow this to happen. Okay? We must stand our ground. Stand and fight toe to toe, back to back, and not allow this man to destroy this continent that has been built up since the 1960s. I am calling every Christian person forward. Whether you follow the Muslim religion or the God religion, or whether you're Christian, Evangelical, Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness, or, if you're left and right-wing radicals, I don't want you. You will not be tolerated in this world. Deuteronomy 3 says, "And we turn and go away from Bashan and the Orc king." This being America and Donald Trump. The Bashists come out to meet us, and he and all his people to battle. And Jehovah Jireh saith unto me, "Fear him not, for into thy hand I have given him, and all his people, and all his land, and thou hast done it to him as thou hast done to Solomon, king and Amorite, who is dwelling in Heshton. And Jehovah our God giveth unto our hands also the Orc king of Bashan, and all his people, and we smite him till there has nothing been left to him but a remnant. And we capture all his cities at that time. There hath not been a city which he hath not taken from them. 60 cities, all the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og, in Bashan. You see, what that is referring to is we will take back our Alaska. We will destroy Trump. And we will not bend to America and their fascist dictatorship power. You see, Canada does not need the States. The States need Canada. You see, we are very apt and very capable of surviving without you. Out of care, compassion, and understanding, we opened the free trade. But we don't need you. We don't need your fascist dictatorship. We can stand on our own. Make no mistake. The states are not the be-all and end-all. Canada does not need the states. The states need us. Our money goes into the states to support it. It's our oil that goes down there and is refined and shipped to different places. It's our lumber that's shipped down there and sold as lumber in the lumber yards. You see, Make no mistake, America. We don't need you. You need us. So keep your war. We don't want it. I will do everything I can to make this happen. May God bless and keep my American friends. I love you all, but I have to stand with my country and stand with my Prime Minister. I will not stand for the tyranny that is happening in the States. I will not stand for the bigotry, racism, and dictatorship that is infiltrating Canada. It has to stop, and I intend to stop it. May God bless and keep you, my brothers and sisters. Father, Abba, Elohim, thank you for being here. May you open my fellow American eyes that they may see that they are dealing with a roaring lion, a deceiver, a demon, a man possessed with power and fame. Thank you for giving me this message and allowing me to preach it. May God bless and keep everyone that hears this message. And I say these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. If you prefer to leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel. There are going to be more political stuff coming out. This war begins tonight. May God bless and keep you safe through this time of turmoil